something that I'm pretty passionate about is CrossFit. I've been doing CrossFit for about 2 years, and I go to CrossFit Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so when I kind of started this fitness journey, I knew that I wanted to do a senior project that had to do with fitness. But the problem with CrossFit is that it's pretty intense, right? Like, I'm pretty sure this is like Sam Dancer. He is lifting like, I think that's like 500 or 400 some pounds. It's just a crazy amount. So I kind of wanted my project to attract all different types of athletes, and CrossFit would just attract CrossFitters. And so I didn't want people to be basically shy away from my senior project and be intimidated when they see this photo and think, oh, I don't want to do that. And here's another photo of a woman doing handstand push-ups on the rings, which is crazy. I can't even do that. So basically to start my research, I was still unsure on what I really wanted to do, but I wanted it to be physical activity. And so I did some research, and I found out that if you spend at least 2.5 hours at moderate intensity or 1.25 hours of vigorous activity, you can extend your life by at most 5 years, or at least 1 or 2 years. So that's really important. So I wanted to share that with the people who would be participating in my senior project. And so my big question was, how could I create a fitness opportunity that all individuals could participate in? And so I didn't really want to do CrossFit because not everyone can do CrossFit, but there was something that we always played before class at CrossFit, or sometimes after, and that was spike ball. So we always played spike ball as a warm-up or a cool down, and it was a pretty easy game. It's a cardiovascular game, and you sort of just volley the ball back and forth. It's a lot like volleyball and foursquare combined. And before I kind of get into my research and kind of get into how the project turned out, I kind of like to explain the rules of spike ball. And so I decided to have a spike ball tournament. And so if I could have like a couple, like I think 3 people come down to kind of demonstrate spike ball.
I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm trying to watch you.
Hey, we're all learning.
All right, that's right.
All right, so basically spike ball, there's 2 people on each team, right? And you're on basically each side of the circle. And so you try to volley it back and forth and until one of us messes up. Now how someone can mess up is if the ball double bounces. So let's say I do one of these weak hits and it double bounces, your team will score a point. If the ball hits the rim, I don't even know if I can hit the rim, but yeah, like that, then the other team scores a point. So, or if you just completely miss the net, like if you just spike it and you just completely miss the net, you miss the point. All right, so I'm gonna serve it up, and when I serve it, there's no boundaries. So you can run all the way, you can do one of these, and then have the other team to get the ball. So we're just gonna volley it back and forth, nice and easy, just to see.
You can't grab it like I did.
Yeah, you can't grab it. Only, you can actually use your full body contact. You can use your head, your arms, your hands, your nose if you really wanted to, but that would kind of hurt. So Ryan, I'm gonna serve it to you, and we're just gonna demonstrate what it's kind of like. Yeah, so we just kind of serve it back and forth. Yep.
And we lost.
And then so Lauren can serve it. Now, let's say that I spike it really hard and it's way over there. Ryan has the other team has 3 passes to make it back to the net. So if something goes wrong, you can always rely on your teammate. It's very it's like a team building game. All right, you guys can go ahead and sit down. That's all. Thank you. And so now that I kind of explained the rules, a couple weeks ago, I started to extend this invitation out to Humboldt high schoolers. And one of the things that I did was I went to 4th and 5th hour of Mr. Taylor's gym class, and I sort of bought a couple nets and I brought it down to the gym, explained the rules, and played with them. And a lot of them liked it, and a lot of them was interested in the tournament. And yeah, I would say it was pretty worth our time to do that. And then one of the tools that I used was Photoshop to make this flyer. I also made a QR code that linked to a Google form page for people to sign up. This was kind of a way for athletes to RSVP so that I kind of knew how many people I was expecting. But the problem is, or the problem was that there was only like 3 teams who actually went out of their way and scanned the QR code and then typed in their team name and stuff. And so I was getting a little bit worried because it was Friday night and the next day was the tournament, and I was like, ooh, there's only 3 teams that signed up. I don't know if this is even going to turn out. What should I do? But actually, it was a wonderful turnout. There was actually 8 teams that showed up, and here's just a couple photos of some action shots of people just passing it to a teammate. Right there's my nephew. He's passing it, and then right there's Sean. He's about to spike it down, and then there's Sean and Jerry facing off against the trainers at CrossFit. So I invited a lot of different types of people. And right at that photo in the top left corner, there was a participant who had a question, and I was kind of helping him understand the tournament. So I had a wonderful turnout. And so here's some more photos of the athletes. Right there is, it's kind of hard to see, but that's Logan McGregor. He always does these dive shots. A lot of people, it's funny because when somebody spikes it, like when you serve it, he always stands really, really far back because he thinks that you're gonna spike it hard, but then he realizes that, oh, you spiked it pretty softly, so then he has to dive for it. It's kind of funny. And then this young lady, her name is Jamie, and she goes to the teens class with us. So I see her every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and she brought her friend who had no experience with spike ball, but throughout the whole entire day, they were having a lot of fun. And this is her in that picture. She's actually arguing with me, saying, "Oh, Ian, please, can we just play another game? We just lost. We're out of the tournament." And I said, No, sorry. You gotta play by the rules. But then later that day, she came up to me and said, "Man, I really wish there was another one. I had a really, really good time, Ian." And that right there, that one reaction, I would consider that one reaction, I feel like would make my senior project a success. And so one of the final tools that I used was this bracket generator. The bracket was, or should I say that the tournament was double elimination. So if you lost a game, you could still win the tournament. And so Giving L's actually didn't drop a game. They won the whole tournament all the way through. Round 1 was played to 7, and then I thought, okay, these games were really, really fast, so I'm going to extend the games a little bit longer. So I extended the games out so they played to 11, win by 2, and Giving L's took it all. I took 3rd. I was the Spicy Doritos with my nephew, and And so the Giving L's team was Lauren Bailey and Logan McGregor. I bought a trophy because I wanted to give participants more on the line than just their pride. I wanted them to compete for something. And so that's just a cheap little figurine of a basketball player about to dunk it, but unfortunately there's no spike ball trophies, but they won, they deserve it. And so that's kind of a final photo of everybody. One team had to take off early, that was Jerry and Sean, so they couldn't be in the group photo. And after the tournament, I was kind of thanking everybody who all came out, and they all really, really enjoyed it. So I hope you learned something from this presentation, learned about spike ball, or learned about physical activity, and I hope that I can learn how to open my eyes at a photo. So, thank you.